gold is worth about $30,000 a pound. You hear that number and you think, okay, that's the most expensive thing out there. But what if I told you there are plants, real plants growing in backyards and forests and tiny little pots on kitchen windows right now, that are worth more than that? Some of them are worth 2 times more, some 5 times more. And one plant on today's list is worth so much per pound that it makes gold look like something you'd find in a dollar store clearance bin. Here's the crazy part. Most people walk right past these plants every single day. They mow over them. They pull them out like weeds. They buy the cheap version at the grocery store and never think twice about it. Meanwhile, the people who actually know what these plants are worth, they're not just growing them for health, they're sitting on a small fortune. And the saddest part?
Nobody talks about this.
Nobody tells you that nature already gave you access to some of the most valuable things on Earth. You just didn't know where to look. Today that changes. You're about to see 8 plants that are literally worth more than gold per pound. We're starting at number 8 and working our way up. And I'll be honest with you, the top 3 on this list shocked even me. So whatever you do, don't leave before you get to those. Trust me on that one. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what these plants are, why they're so valuable, where they grow, and how some of them could even be part of your daily life. This isn't some fantasy list of plants from the middle of the Amazon that you'll never see. Some of these grow right here in the United States. Some of them you might already have in your spice cabinet, and you don't even realize what you're holding. If you're new here, welcome to Mina Teaches Plants. This is where we make healing plants simple. No complicated science lectures. No confusing Latin names thrown at you for no reason. Just real, honest plant knowledge you can actually use in your everyday life. And real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, just tap that subscribe button and hit the bell. Alright, let's get into it. Plant number 8. Vanilla. No, I'm not talking about that little brown bottle of extract you buy at the store for $4. I'm talking about real vanilla. The actual bean. The pod that comes from a vanilla orchid. Real vanilla beans can sell for around $400 to $600 per pound. Sometimes more depending on the harvest and the quality. To put that in perspective, that's more expensive than silver. Way more expensive than silver actually.
Here's why.
Vanilla is one of the most labor-intensive crops on the planet. Each flower has to be pollinated by hand. By hand. There's no machine for it. There's no shortcut. And each flower only opens for a few hours, so if you miss it, that's it, that pod isn't happening. After pollination, the beans take months to cure and dry properly. Most of the world's vanilla comes from Madagascar, but here's something most people don't know. You can grow vanilla orchids indoors in the US. They need warmth, humidity, and patience, but it's absolutely possible. And when you realize how much that single pod is worth, suddenly that patience doesn't feel so bad. We're just getting started. This is number 8. It only goes up from here. Plant number 7. Saffron. If you've ever cooked with real saffron, you already know this stuff is not cheap. But most people don't realize just how expensive it really is. High-quality saffron goes for anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 per pound. Let me say that again. Up to $5,000 for a single pound. That's already giving gold a serious run for its money. Saffron comes from the Crocus sativus flower. Each flower produces only 3 tiny red threads. That's it. 3. To get just 1 pound of saffron, you need about 70,000 flowers. And every single thread has to be picked by hand, carefully, gently, usually in the early morning before the sun gets too strong. That's why it's called red gold. And here's the beautiful part. Saffron crocus bulbs grow surprisingly well in many parts of the US. They like dry summers and cold winters. Places like Pennsylvania, Oregon, Vermont, people are already growing saffron commercially right here in America. If you've ever wanted to grow something rare and incredibly valuable in your own backyard, saffron is one of the most realistic options out there. Plant number 6. Matsutake Mushroom. Now, technically, a mushroom is a fungus and not a plant in the strict botanical sense. But in the world of natural growing things that come from the earth, this one absolutely deserves a spot on this list. Matsutake mushrooms can sell for $1,000 to $2,000 per pound. In Japan, where these mushrooms are considered a prized delicacy, the best specimens have sold for even more than that. What makes Matsutake so valuable is that nobody has figured out how to farm them reliably. They grow in very specific forest conditions, usually near pine trees, and they have a relationship with the tree roots that scientists still don't fully understand. You can't just plant them in a greenhouse and wait. Nature decides when and where they show up. In the Pacific Northwest of the United States, Matsutake mushrooms grow wild every fall. People who know what they're looking for go out into the forests and hunt for them. It's like a treasure hunt, except the treasure is real, and it's worth more per pound than most things you'll ever hold in your hands. But we're not even close to the top of this list yet. What's coming at number 5 and beyond? That's where things start to get truly unbelievable. Plant number 5. Ginseng. A lot of Americans have actually heard of, but very few understand the real value of. We're talking about wild American ginseng. Wild ginseng root can sell for anywhere from $500 to over $800 per pound depending on the age and shape of the root. But here's where it gets interesting. Really old, really well-shaped wild roots have sold for thousands of dollars per pound at auction. There are records of single roots selling for tens of thousands of dollars to collectors, especially in Asian markets where aged wild ginseng is considered almost sacred for health purposes. Ginseng has been used for centuries in traditional medicine. People use it for energy, mental clarity, immune support, and overall vitality. The demand is huge, and the supply of true wild ginseng is shrinking every single year because of overharvesting and habitat loss. It grows naturally in the forests of Appalachia and several other eastern U.S. states. And there are strict laws about when and how you can harvest it, which is a good thing because it means the plant is being protected. Some people have started growing ginseng in forest-like conditions on their own land. It takes years, sometimes 5 to 10 years, before the roots are ready. But when they are, you're looking at one of the most valuable crops per pound that any small farmer in America can grow. All right, we are halfway through this list, and honestly, it only gets crazier from here. Before we keep going, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me which plant on this list has surprised you the most so far. Plant number 4. High-quality hemp CBD flower. It has exploded in popularity over the last several years, and for good reason. We're talking about premium, high-quality hemp CBD flowers. Now, the value of CBD flower varies a lot depending on the quality, the strain, and the CBD content. But top-shelf, organically grown, hand-trimmed CBD flowers can go for $2,000 to $4,000 per pound on the premium market. And some specialty strains with rare cannabinoid profiles have pushed even higher than that. CBD has become one of the most talked-about natural wellness compounds in the world. People use it for stress, sleep, discomfort, inflammation, and a whole list of other things. And while science is still catching up to everything people claim, the demand is absolutely undeniable. What's incredible is that hemp grows well across a huge portion of the United States. It's a hardy plant. It doesn't need a ton of water. It doesn't need fancy equipment. Small farmers across the country have started growing hemp and producing some of the best CBD flowers in the world. When you think about the fact that this plant, which you can grow in your backyard with the right knowledge and the right seeds, can produce something worth thousands per pound, it really puts things in perspective. Plant number 3. Goldthread. A plant most people have never even heard of, and that's part of why it's so valuable. It's called goldthread. Its scientific name is Coptis chinensis, but we're keeping things simple here. Goldthread roots can sell for over $5,000 per pound for high-quality, wild-harvested roots. In traditional Chinese medicine, this plant has been used for hundreds of years. It's known for its powerful properties related to digestion, inflammation, and infection. The plant gets its name from the bright golden yellow threads of its root system. It's small, it grows slowly, and it only thrives in very specific shady, moist, cool forest environments. That's why it's so expensive. You can't rush it. You can't mass-produce it easily. Nature takes its sweet time with this one, and that time is what makes it worth more per pound than gold. Small patches of goldthread do grow in the northeastern United States. People who know about it guard their patches like family secrets. And honestly, can you blame them? When you're sitting on something worth more than gold, you keep it quiet too. But number 2 and number 1, they take everything we've talked about today and push it to a level that's genuinely hard to believe. Plant number 2. High-Grade Agarwood. This one is legendary. We're talking about agarwood, also known as oud. When certain species of Aquilaria trees get infected by a specific type of mold, they produce a dark, fragrant resin inside the wood as a defense mechanism. That infected, resin-saturated wood is called agarwood, and it is one of the most expensive natural raw materials on the face of the earth. The highest grade agarwood can sell for over $30,000 per pound. Some of the rarest pieces, the kind that have been aging for decades, have sold for over $100,000 per kilogram at auction. We're talking about a piece of wood that costs more than gold, more than platinum, more than almost anything. Oud oil, which is distilled from agarwood, is used in some of the most expensive perfumes in the world. It's used in traditional medicine across the Middle East and Asia. It's burned as incense in some cultures during prayer and meditation. The smell is unlike anything else. Deep, warm, complex, almost spiritual.
And here's the thing.
Not every Aquilaria tree produces agarwood, only the infected ones. And the infection has to happen naturally over many years. You can't fake it. You can't speed it up. That rarity is what drives the insane price. There have been efforts to cultivate Aquilaria trees and even to artificially introduce the infection to produce agarwood faster. Some of these efforts are happening right now. But the natural, old-growth stuff, that's the real treasure. And it's running out. Plant number 1. High-potency truffle. And finally, number 1. The single most valuable thing on this entire list, pound for pound. The white Alba truffle. Now, like the Matsutake mushroom, a truffle is technically a fungus. But this list is about natural things that grow from the earth and blow past the price of gold. And the white Alba truffle doesn't just blow past it. It destroys it. White Alba truffles have sold for $6,000 to $12,000 per pound at market. But at auction, individual truffles have gone for absolutely insane amounts. In 2014, a pair of white Alba truffles sold at auction for over $60,000. There are stories of single truffles going for hundreds of thousands. These truffles grow underground near the roots of oak and hazelnut trees in a very small region of northern Italy. They cannot be farmed. Every single one has to be found in the wild, usually with the help of trained dogs who can smell them beneath the soil. The flavor is something chefs describe as almost otherworldly. Earthy, garlicky, musky, with a depth that nothing else on earth can replicate. That's why the world's best restaurants will pay any price to get their hands on them. And that's why, per pound, the white Alba truffle sits right at the very top of this list. Gold costs about $30,000 a pound. A perfect white Alba truffle, at auction, has exceeded that many times over. Let that sink in. A fungus growing quietly in the dirt in Italy is worth more than the gold in a jewelry store. And there you have it. 8 things growing from this earth, right now as you're watching this, that are worth more per pound than gold. Some of them grow in American forests. Some of them grow in your kitchen. Some of them take decades to develop. And some of them you could start growing this year if you wanted to. But here's what I really want you to take away from this. The value isn't just about money. Every single plant and fungus on this list got its price because of what it does for people. Healing, flavor, fragrance, wellness, tradition, culture. The real gold isn't the price tag. The real gold is knowledge. Knowing what's around you. Knowing what nature already gave you. That's worth more than anything. Most people will watch this video and think, wow, that's interesting, and then move on. But some of you, the smart ones, you'll start paying attention. You'll start looking at the plants around you differently. And that shift, that moment when you realize nature has been offering you treasure your whole life, that's when everything changes. If this video opened your eyes even a little bit, smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already because we go deep on stuff like this every single week. And drop a comment, tell me, which plant on this list shocked you the most? Was it the saffron? The agarwood? The truffle? I want to know. I read every single comment. This is Mina Teaches Plants. Grow smarter. Live healthier. And I'll see you in the next one.